Welcome to the Between the Pages podcast. Today we're going to be talking about why rhyme and rhythm help kids remember the truth.
Yeah, I guess it's, you just can't ever get enough of that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm Jimmy, this is Sarah, and this is our podcast, Between the Pages. We've had people seem to really like our podcast. It's like, wow, and when we first started this, I didn't know. But we decided to go back and revisit one of our earlier subjects about rhyme and that kind of thing, and rhyming words, and and you see it in everyday life. I mean, there's always some catchy little
jingles,
yeah, or some of that nature that has a rhyme
that you remember from 10 years ago, and you're like, I saw that commercial 4 times.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So there's all that kind of thing sticks with you, and even in music, the melodies and the words that go together, and the next thing you know, it's gonna be a nonsense song, and you're just sitting there humming along, right? I mean, but in kid world, you're just starting out, and phonics is, sometimes kids have a little bit of a difficult time.
It really helps hook into the memory because of that jingle rhyming with it.
Right. And so initially, like you say, they start out with pictures.
Yeah.
And the pictures are kind of fun and that kind of thing. And so eventually, though, they realize, oh, there's words.
Yeah.
What are these, And, mom or dad.
And the more you do it, they remember, too.
And they begin to remember these words.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon you can point at the words and they actually recognize the words when they see it written, which is a big transition point. I mean, we all pretty much take reading for granted.
Yeah.
But some of my earliest recollections are, I knew what words were, and I could say them, and I could talk, I could speak, I could communicate. But when I saw them on the page, I didn't know that's what that word was, or is. And so it's like, at one point in life, I remember, I think it was the word see, S-E-E, and I'm like, I looked at it, and someone said it, and I went, that's see. And so from that point forward, I then knew every time I saw that word, that's what that meant. And I could start to put together sentences. And then when you begin to put together sentences, well, it's like, it's a whole new world for you.
Yeah, I don't remember that from the little words, but there's sometimes that I hear big words as an adult, and I'm like, and you know the word, you use it all the time, and then you see it written out, and you're like, that's how that's spelled?
Yeah.
Because, all the silent letters and things, and you're like, that's interesting. I would have spelled it differently. Yeah. But that's for all you people who don't spell well. So
yeah, well, I mean,
I do really good with writing, and I have lots of great ideas. But spell check is my best friend.
Yeah. Well, like does and dose and does, I always struggle with that word, especially when they were spelled the same. Yeah. But I would always misspell them, too. But
and there's lots of those. There's there, and there, and two, and two. And all the read and read, and then red and red are the same word, spelled differently. Yeah. Different meaning.
Exactly. And so that kind of thing. And so what we attempt to do is we do some of that. We try to use the same sounding type words.
And cat and sat and bat. But then there's words that have total, I can't think of any, but they're like dough, D-O-U-G-H.
Yeah.
And dough, like something else with an O.
Yeah,
sound.
Like dough, D-O-E, dough.
Yeah, dough, D-O-E.
Sounds the same, spelled different.
Yeah, and so it's like it has the same sound, but it's a different spelling. Yeah. So to be able to read that and see that, helps out.
Yeah, I mean, like bark and bark. Like bark on a tree and a dog barks.
Well, they're spelled the same.
They're spelled the same, but
they have different meanings.
They have different meanings. And when I was first, I knew dogs barked. But when somebody said the tree has bark, I'm like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean? I don't hear anything. I mean, trees don't make noise. Oh, no, it's the bark.
And so then there's peppermint bark.
Yeah, right, well, yeah, exactly, so there's all kinds of, fun ways to mess up your thinking. And so
these are really good books for if you're trying to teach rhymes.
So that's the other thing. We start out with simple words.
Yeah.
We start out with usually a 3-letter word is best. Boy, toy, that kind of thing. Then move up to the 4-letter words. and 5-letter words and 6-letter words. Don't usually want to go beyond that, with these types of books. But occasionally you have to, because you just don't have a good word. But that's the exception. Yeah. That doesn't happen very often.
And then in that we find words that they don't have anything to do with rhyming. They're just like, they mean the same. Like in Rosie. Yeah. And she says that she's talking to the deer. And she's like, oh, hey, Oscar. Yeah. But Oscar is another word for deer. For deer. Yeah. So it's like there's those little kind of words in there that aren't rhymes.
Well, like
different learning things.
It's kind of, that, it's like, I came across a lady this week, her name was Ava East. Yeah. So I'm like, Ava, that's a nice name, and East. And so I always associate East with Kadeem. Yeah. So Kadeem is East to me. So I'm like, well, wonder about this, So then I look up Ava, and Ava is just a variant of Eve. Yeah. And, God planted a garden in the East. Ava East. And I thought to myself, oh, that was pretty creative of their parents to give her that name. But then I said, well, I can develop a character because I'm already working on a book, on the garden. And that's actually one of the Living Waters books, New Covenant books that, books that we'll do. Probably 2027. It'll probably begin.
It's so weird to think about books in 2027. When Jake was coming out in 2022, we were thinking about books that are coming out now. And it doesn't feel like it's been that long. It's been like 4 years.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing. You have to think. Jake was a book that was written 20 years ago.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is you have to be thinking about the future work now. Yeah. And when, with Ava Kadeem is going to be the character. Well, you have to pounce on that right now. You have to at least jot down your notes.
Yeah, and that's how you're able to put in the different little innuendos into the books that lead into some of the other books.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, well, like we were talking the other day.
You wonder what we talk about.
Well, we were talking about the people getting rescued from the JG, from the fire, the family, the Tripp family. Okay.
Oh yeah, and then we were like, well, what are we
There's going to be
a
book about that family. Yeah. We're gonna. I've already started working on it. I went there doing it some last weekend. I got half the manuscript done. I got some ideas for some scenes. I got all the words identified. It's IT words. And so you're gonna have a bit and pit and mit and sip and those kind of
sit.
Yeah, sit. Yeah, and so you're gonna have those kind of words that are gonna be part of it. And so, but anyway, so you have to have those types of rhyming words, and those kind of things, they stick. The rhymes stick with you. Yeah. And so you, for whatever reason, you'll be in class or doing something, and that as a child, that rhyming word will come to you, and you'll be like, oh.
Oh yeah, we do that all the time on like walks and stuff. Talking about different things, and there's a. Not squirrel, because I nothing against a squirrel. But other things like, can't think of anything right now. But we'll talk about like, that rhymes with this, or this goes with this.
Don't you
or
just
this
hate
is
that
what this does.
Your mind goes blank?
Yeah, I'm like, what are any, there's nothing, right now it's like there's no words in the world that rhyme together. I can't think of anything.
Well, hello, yellow fellow. And so that, a lot of kids have difficulty with the word yellow. Lello.
We're working on it.
She's working on it. But, so our children, when they were growing up, had difficulty. But hello was a word they could do.
Oh, yeah.
They can do that one easy, but they can't do yellow. And they can't do fellow. And so we started with a word they could do. Hello, yellow, fellow. And the next thing you know, they can do all three. Yeah. So it's just a matter of getting all that squared away in their head. But that's the whole idea behind yellow fellow.
And just keep doing it. The repetition of it is like wild. I was watching that video of us. We made a video of us making cookies the other day. And watching it back. It's like even just... Normally I get all of our ingredients out. Because that's like the most challenging part.
Yeah, having everything ready.
And for whatever reason... We didn't do that this time because they were just ready to do stuff. And Lillian was supposed to take a nap, and she ended up joining us. It was a whole thing. But it was really, like, the coolest experience because going back and watching, you know, when you're in the moment, there's only so many things you can notice and pick up on.
Yeah,
and there's a lot going on.
Right.
But I'm there trying to deal with both of them. And scooping out, we only had a half a cup scoop, and we needed like 3 or 2 3/4. Well, half is 4 times. Well, by the 4th time, Eleanor knew how to scoop it up, fill it up, and take the knife and scrape it off. In the beginning, she couldn't do it, but by that 4th time, she was like, "I don't even need you, Mom.
I can do that.
I can do this."
You're going to hear those words again, too.
And then it was also neat because even though Lillian wasn't doing much, because normally cooking time is what I do with Eleanor when Lillian's taking a nap, because it helps, you know, her just, you know how to do things. It's fun. It's nice to just integrate them with your daily life instead of, I heard someone say that recently, it's not about like, it's not about trying to get your kids occupied so you can do things. You just include your kids in what you're doing, and eventually they are able to just help you. And really, it works out, and that's what I try to do with her with cooking and stuff. But Lillian was doing it too, which I didn't even notice. And where I would like go, okay, what was the things here, and I'm like, okay, what was the thing? And I'm trying to find where we're at in the recipe, and then I get it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go get that vanilla. And I would, you know, be distracted with something, and Lillian would come over and put her finger down and and so she's like mimicking me doing it, and so it just goes even more into,
that's cool.
They're always watching you.
Yeah.
And
that's how they learn.
Oh yeah. So I don't know how we got off on that. Whatever you said.
Well, it was the yellow fellow.
But it's just so like the rhyming helps and the repetition with it, and the repetition helps, and the rhyming helps with the repetition because they remember it easier.
Yeah, and so there's one scene in the Yellow Fellow about the yellow manta ray.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we came up, we were sitting there at supper one night, and we're like, well, what can we do? And we thought, oh, we all stay in a yellow manta ray.
Yeah.
A yellow manta ray. So we thought, oh, okay, that's kind of catchy. So, I mean, I know it's kind of a takeoff on Yellow Submarine, but, you know, it's... yeah, and so those kind of things will stick with you, though.
Yeah.
You'll
well,
grow
even
up.
my little song that I made for Eleanor when she was a baby, because I couldn't remember any of the little lullabies or whatever you're supposed to sing to your kid. And I just made up a song. I just made it up, and it stuck. And sometimes I'm like, I wish I would have maybe spent a little bit more effort on that song. But... it just was like, on a whim, made up a song one day.
Yeah.
Well, then, I guess I've sung it so many times over history because I sang it when she was a baby, and then when she gets upset, you know, I could sing it and she would just calm down. It was like a magic trick. Whatever. It's like she knew, like, oh, this is from my baby years, and so she just knew. And so then Lillian will get upset, and she'll sing it to Lillian, and I'm like, I didn't even know you knew that song. But she knows the words and everything about it.
Let's
so
see,
it's
you
just
started
like,
a family tradition.
I wish I would have spent a little bit more effort on that song.
You might want to copyright the song, yeah, right? It's like we talked about copyrights once, y'all, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you don't...
It's not even a good song. Like, it's an okay song. It's just like, the ending doesn't even make any sense because I couldn't think of a word that rhymed. And so I just was like, a little potato. But it makes the song because the kids think it's hilarious. A little potato, ha ha ha.
They have a kid's sense of humor. Yeah, so
rhyming words.
That's basically the whole idea. You know, come up with a word, and then, you know, the difficult part is, like we did with the words in Jemima Joke. We took one.
No, it means this, and I was like, wow, I had no idea. I don't even remember what word it was.
Bows, maybe?
Something.
Bows was an unusual word.
And that was in Rose.
Rosie.
But this was something in Jemima Joke.
Oh, okay.
With the ope. I don't remember what it was.
There's nope.
Anyway.
Cope, S-O-P-E, soap, food, some type of food. But yeah, so yeah, you have, it's
Good stuff.
it's a good learning experience. It's a great way to explore words you don't know and learn different meanings of words, and at the same time learn rhyming words. And what got me started on all of this was, well, just some of the books that I saw that were out there. I just was like, that's not something that's child level.
Well, and I kind of like some, and I almost get used to these books and how it's the same rhyming word every time. Like this one, the ending word, vet, met, pet. Vet, met, pet. Okay. Well, then you read a lot of kids' books are more rhyming words with A, B, A, B.
Yeah.
And so it's not, these two lines match up, which A, B, A, B is a rhyming pattern of a poem kind of thing. But sometimes it's a little challenging because it's like, is this a poem? Is this rhyming? Is it? Because it's so, like, different in their words. Yeah. But...
Well, I mean, the thing about it is there's probably different variations for different situations and different, whatever your end objective is. The end objective of most of these books is to teach some type of biblical lesson.
Yeah.
And so,
phonics.
Yeah, there's phonics associated with it, and at the end of it, there's some moral truth. Yeah. Okay, and so, for the secular world out there, that's not really something that they're really interested in, is a biblical truth. So when you're constrained, if you will, to that type of lane, I will call it, or activity, well, it kind of limits your options with what you can say and what you can do. And so, whereas other people, they don't have those restrictions at all. They can pretty much talk about anything they want to and communicate any kind of messages they want to communicate, and they do. And so that, like I said, that was one of the things that kind of got me going with these books to begin with, because I was looking at some of them and going, no, this is not kid appropriate. I mean, as a parent, if that's what you want to do, I guess, there's nothing saying you can't do that. But, I think at that age you ought to have, more of a God-focused, centered type reading experience. And these books help do that. And so, like I tell people all the time, if it's not your cup of tea, well, hey, read something different. We got a lot of people who like our books and who read our books and buy our books, and we're okay with that. We don't make a lot of money. We don't want to make money. We just want to get a message out there to people. And so, for other folks, that's not what it's about. They got to sell books. They got to, pay the utilities. They got to be whatever, celebrity or something. So that's not who we are. So we're okay with where we're at. And so because of that, that's why we have our books are kind of simple. They're not highly intellectual in any way. So they're kind of, at a kid level, they're simple books and they're rhymes, and they help with phonics, and they help, with learning to spell and be able to read and that kind of thing. So that's our goal.
That is all we have for you this time on the Between the Pages podcast. We hope you enjoyed, and subscribe, and follow, and see you next time for more good stuff.
Good stuff.